So we're taking a peek back to what we did last time we were together here, discussing a little bit how we can simplify when we're dealing with multiplication or division, building towards being able to start solving equations using things like this. So, quick reminder, breakdown sheet. Yours may be one of I don't know how many colors at this point. I think there have been green ones, blue ones, purple ones, salmon colored ones. Now the one I have here is yellow. But again, this is something that's going to be useful heading forward if I get stuck somewhere. Okay, so let me get this back out of the way for the moment. Other reminder from the last time we spoke, whenever you see something that has a plus or minus involved with it, okay, before you do anything else, put parentheses around it. And why is that? Because I don't want to be that person that goes through on the next quiz and starts trying to cancel the b squareds or cancel these b's. I can't do that yet because they're locked together with those pluses or minuses. How do I fix that problem? I go factoring crazy. So, when we're doing this, we're going to take it a piece at a time. And I'm going to bounce around a little on this sheet because I want to hit a little bit of everything that we've done so far. So I look at this and I go, okay, there's my first job up there. Factorable? Let's see here. Two terms? Yes. Are they perfect squares? Let's see. Can I multiply something to get b squared? Yeah. Oh, 64. 64 is in my list. Woo, excuse me. So, that is a difference of squares. And again, don't be afraid to use the sheet. That's what it's there for. What do I square to get 64? 8. And again, with a difference of squares, to multiply to get a negative, I use one of each. Okay, so I got that part done. Then I look down here, and I'm always asking myself before anything else, do we have anything in common? Well, not here, because these both have b, but the third one doesn't. These are both divisible by 4, but that's not. So I have a feeling this is going to go into diamond mode if it factors. Let's find out. Multiply to positive 20, which tells me the signs are going to be the same. They're either both positive or they're both negative, but adds to negative 12. Okay, so now I know they're both negative. Nice, okay? So I need two numbers that multiply to 20 and add up to 12 since they're the same sign, which would be 2 and 10. Okay, so far so good. And again, if that's not something that comes to you right away, you always have the option of just kind of going off to the side and even playing with your calculator for a minute if you need to, and just make yourself a quick list of factors. And then you're like, okay, I need the one that adds up to 12. Oh, that pair, okay. It doesn't really take that long, and it does make it a little easier. Here, I've got b minus 10. This isn't even a quadratic. So unless there was a number they had in common, which there isn't, just leave it alone. Okay, that can happen sometimes. Doesn't happen very often, but it can. And then I look at that last pair. Okay, not a quadratic, but exactly. They're both divisible by 5. b minus 8. Because 5 times b is 5b. 5 times 8 is 40. Now I can go back in and start looking for things that I can cancel. And again, identical. So the b minus 8s, they could cancel. The b minus 10s, they could cancel. Okay, I cannot cancel these b's over here. Okay, they're bonded. So let's see what I got left. When you think you're done canceling, it's always good to write everything out and see what you've got. Now, typically at this point I'll say, okay, since I can't cancel the b's or I can't cancel these, I'm done. And somebody will always ask, well, do I have to distribute the 5 back out, make it 5b minus 10? No, you can, but I actually wouldn't, because then you just get tempted to want to do something that you shouldn't. So if it's in a factored form and you've reduced everything you can, I actually would prefer if you just left it alone at that point. Okay? All right, let's see here. Just trying to find a couple in each section. Let's try out 6. 6 seems to have quite a bit that could be working here. All right. one piece at a time here. So number 6. What's my first job here with that 6v plus 36, excuse me? Okay. Oh, that's even better than what I was thinking. I see pluses and minuses. Okay, to keep me from being silly, I'm going to get the parentheses in. But then I also heard they both have a 6, which I also agree with. And again, whenever I factor something out, I should, if I did the distributive property, get that same thing back. 6 times v is 6v. 6 times 6 is 36. So far, so good. What about that next part? 2, anything else? 2v. V minus 7, because v times v is v squared. And over here, I've already got a v, and I only need 1, so I wouldn't want to use another one. So v minus 7, good. 2v. V minus 5. Ooh, we're on a roll. So that denominator is all I got left. Okay, I got v and v here. Exactly. Again, we multiply to a negative, so I know it's one of each. I know since it's a positive one they add up to, that the positive number is bigger and they're only one apart. So 6 and 5. So now I go through again. I'm like, okay, what can I start whacking away here? Well, blast those. And those 2 v's, so that's even better since they're identical, so I'll blast those too. 6 over v minus 7. So again, this is getting you tons of practice with factoring, which is going to help you in a lot of different places. Plus, you know, it's kind of fun once you get to the end. Start just blasting everything away here. Okay, we are going to jump down to 8, and then we're going to head to the other side here. Okay, simplify each expression. Remember, when dividing, you flip the second fraction. In other words, these two guys are switching places. So we'll get to that in a minute. Numerator of my first fraction. Yes, but 8's going to be a little better. Now, let's chat about that for a second. Let's say you looked at that and you said, hey, I can get a 4 out of both of those. Now, let's see what would happen. So if I took out a 4, whoa, Harty, whoa, okay. Now, I would hope, or you probably would find this out once you went through and factored, wait a minute, I can still take a 2 out of both of those, and you're right. So I could pull the 2 out. If I pull another 2, 4 times 2 would be 8. And I could still get there. But if you ever see that whatever you've got left inside is still factorable, it means you didn't get the biggest factor out. Not a bad thing. It just means you might have to go play with it a little more. What about my denominator? 14. And again, that may be one that you don't get the biggest one the first time. Maybe you think it's 2, and you try 2, and then you're like, oh, 7 and 35, I can get more. And you keep going that way. So now here, this is up top now. So what about those two? Okay, I can take out a 7. And then the 4 now is down below. And some of you may literally want to rewrite it. Maybe instead of just drawing the arrows, you literally do 7r plus 35 over 4. And you just do that. I don't know. Okay. Can't get rid of much this time. I'm with you. I can get rid of r minus 5. Now, you might not notice anything else right at the start of this, but let's clean this up and see what happens. Well, you have a choice there. If you see something that you could reduce it at this point, or you can multiply straight across, and sometimes that'll make some things a little more obvious. Because now when I multiply right across, I'm like, hey, I can get rid of the 56 and 56, and the whole answer is just the r plus 5. But if you wanted to, if you're like, hey, 7 goes into 14, 1, 2, you can, but sometimes that can get a little sloppy. I'm still more of a fan of, once you cancel out the parentheses or any variable terms, multiply across and use math enter, or try to reduce the fraction then. It'll just make it easier on you. All right. It's looking good so far. I'm impressed. Okay, I'm trying to see if I put any really crazy ones on here. I'm not seeing a whole bunch of crazy. I do want to do one more. Somebody pick me one on the back here. Oh, that was quick. Speed wins, 16. Okay. So again, parenthesis. I'm going to actually go ahead and this time I'm going to rewrite this so I don't do anything silly. We just did a division 1. Why did I do what? Why did I do this? Okay, because this is division. I'm just reminding myself when I go to flip it, when I start to see really big terms, I like to visually see, oh yeah, because sometimes you forget otherwise. And I don't want to forget. So, all right, when I flipped that, that became times. And that's one thing on the back you do have to watch for. Because I threw a few multiplication ones in with the division ones. So you've got to pay attention. Okay. Can I do anything in the top of my first fraction? No. All right, so that's set. Okay, what about the denominator? 7. Rolling, people. Okay, I can take a 4. And again, this is even helping some of you with your mental math skills here. All right, let's see here. Negative 15 means we have a positive and a negative, positive 5 and 3. And again, the 5 is the plus because that's where this sign helps me out. All right, r minus 3s, r plus 9s. Now let's see what we got left. 4 does not go into 7. It's as good as it gets. Now again, when you're doing these, it's just getting you some more practice with that. And if you haven't started the book stuff from last time, might be a good time to knock some of that out. But keep this handy just in case. And if you've misplaced yours, maybe you didn't jot it down the first time, there's some more over there in front of the folders, but they won't be there forever. I'm just saying, someday they may disappear. So take your time, work on some of this. I do have a key up front. I have a key for Fridays as well. Work through some of that stuff. If you've got any issues, let me know.